Crafty Crafters, welcome back to Season 1, Episode 8. Today we're going to laminate on a dry erase board that we got from Dollar Tree, which is now a $1.25 tree. Alright, and we're going to do that. We're going to laminate and sublimate. We're going to laminate it with regular laminating paper that we get from Walmart. Then we're going to sublimate on top of that. You can sublimate on top of this, but it's a very dull look. If you want it to pop and look really shiny, you use this to laminate this board. Now, why would you laminate this board and why would you sublimate on it? Well, for one thing, you can actually put the teacher's name on top as the students write on it. Or you can also do it so that you can have it as a sign in your garden. Or you can use it as a paddle to have up during sporting events. You can have it for so many other things. You can have it, and some people actually use it at funerals where they have the individual's name and their life and all the images about them on the actual paddle so that people can take home with them. It happens. So we're going to do that today. So stay tuned and let's go over to the studio. Now my machine, let's get the camera exactly right here. My machine is a 15 by 12. Okay. The more professional machines are 15 by 15 or 15 by 16 by 24, which is the machine that I'm hoping to come in the mail soon. So this 15 by 12 is actually the smaller machine. So if you have a small machine, this should not be a problem for you. I'm going to show you how to do this. So the first thing we do is we have the laminating sheets. And you usually run these, they're doubled over. And these are the ones that usually run through the laminating machine, right? When you laminate cards or things. We're just going to snap this apart, tear that apart like so. We're going to put one on both sides of the machine. Now my machine is a swivel. So it swivels 360 degrees, around. So on this machine, what we're going to do is we're going to take the wrapping off of our laminate, take the plastic off. That shouldn't be this difficult. This is why we have scissors. So I'm going to take the plastic off of the Dollar Tree paddle. And these paddles are really great. You can get 30 for a classroom set. And if you're a math teacher or a chemistry teacher, as I am, they can write on this. But when you laminate it, it lasts longer. So even if you're not going to do all this sublimation, if you just laminate this, it works really well, okay? So we're going to put this on both sides. One on this side, and this fits the long way. There's something on that paper. One on this side, and one on this side. And they're probably going to stick to each other, okay? And to the paper. That's okay. So we're going to let our machine heat up first. Our machine is heating up to 360. Let me see what I got on this one. So yeah, we're going to bring it up. So I was doing vinyl before. So let's make sure that we have it in the right mode. So go to mode. Raise it up to 3. I'm going to go as 375 to make sure it's not too hot. So, and then the bottom one, the minimum time to 375 because I don't want to wait forever. And this I'm going to reduce down to about 10 seconds. And we'll see how that works out. So as this machine heats up, we're going to press and laminate both sides. Back to mode. We'll see it's heating up. It's at 182 degrees right now. And then once it gets to the necessary temperature, I'm going to come back and see where we are. And laminate the sheets. We're going to cut both sides. Put our paper on top and press for 10 seconds. And that should be hot enough to press both sides, but let's be sure. Okay, that's 375 for 10 seconds. So let's check and see what we've done. Let's keep in mind that they will press up against one another. Let me slide that so that you can go across. So let's look and see what we got here. Alright, it looks like one side is heated. This side did not, so we're going to press this side as well. I'm going to do it on both sides at the same time so that we won't have any problems. It's time to sublimate. So we're going to wait till it gets back up to 375 and we'll press it again. So keep in mind we have the same laminating paper that we got at Walmart, just regular laminate that goes through the Scotch laminating machine. So we're going to press down for 10 seconds. And then we're going to print our image on it. And that should have pressed us down on both sides. So we should be laminated on 2 sides of this board. And we are. Alright, so we laminated on 2 sides of the board. There's clearly some moisture in the board because there's some moisture around here. So we're going to use an X-Acto knife. Okay? And with our X-Acto knife, we're going to cut through, or cut around this. And we want to make sure this is good and dry and flat. Now this side we got good and flat. This side got a little bubble in it right there. I think when we press it again, when we laminate, when we sublimate, it'll be fine. So we're going to go very carefully. We're going to change up scenes here for a second. On our flat surface, we're going to, first of all, I need some light here. Some additional light. We're going to use our another thing we can do is if it gets too wrinkly, we can actually slide it under here and curl the sides under using the hot temperature, perfecting the sides like that. So now that we have this all trimmed as best as we're going to have it for this particular thing, we're going to put our image on. So let's turn this around and we'll put our image on. All right, now that we've edged out with our X-Acto knife and made this as clear as possible, we're going to place our paddle on this paper, and it's just regular 8.5 by 11. And we're going to tape it down, face down first, onto the laminating paper. We're going to tape that down. And I'm going to tape it down here. Make sure it doesn't move. Now that we have our image, we have the image of the roses that we've used in previous episodes. And I've widened it so it'll fit on this board as pretty roses. And make sure that when you print your roses or print your image, that you print it in high quality and not standard. Because if you print in standard, you might get lines in your printing. And this is sublimation ink and a printer that I've converted. I've used an Epson 2720 and I've converted to sublimation. So for this part, I've raised the temperature up to 380 degrees. And I want to place this on top. Wait, sorry. Gotta flip this over. Flip this over so that the heat is directly on the paper. And this is Crafting Bestie's paper, one of the best papers I've used. And we're going to put butcher paper on top to protect the image. And now press. And all right, now let's see what's going on here. Keep in mind, this board is not meant to be sublimated on, but we made it so by laminating. So there's no telling what kind of results we get. It's a lot of moisture in pressed cardboard because it's actually soaked in water in order to be pressed like it's pressed. So let's find out what we have here. Oh, that's just pretty, and it's hot, by the way, it's super hot. So we're going to flip that over, take the tape off on both sides, And note that it makes up for a moist back. Because of the water being pressed out of it, the back of it does become quite moist. But it will dry out. And once it dries out, you can print on the back of that, okay? There's moisture on the back. But this is the front. So we can see where we need to trim the top. And we'll do that with our X-Acto blade. And we made our board, very pretty board. And what will we do with this board? This board has this pretty color on it. We can do a lot of things with it. One of the things I think I will do with it is put some vinyl on it. Some actual vinyl on it. Words and decorate it. And meanwhile, it's really, really hot. So I'm going to put that down. And this is our sublimated board. And we'll do the other side with the exact same image. Notice that moisture came through there. And that moisture actually loosened that laminate off of it. We're going to wait for that moisture to dry up. And then we'll do the other side. This side of the board that was pressed directly with heat. It stayed fine. And then we can always trim with the X-Acto blade any excess laminate that we see. So this worked out really well. I like this image.